important, which is the hookup advisor. So this is your hookup advisor. Upon hooking up your patient, you have to check the indicator in here. If it is green, it means that you are bringing signals from the heart in a very perfect way. If it is yellow, it's still acceptable. But if it is red and you can see signals in here, do not acquire your ECG, because you will get wrong interpretation or wrong diagnosis, and you will misguide your physician in the management. So please make sure that your indicator is green. And we all know how to make it green. How can you get a good signals from the heart? Well preparation of your patient, right placement of your leads, and try to relax the lead wires actually on the patient to reduce the artifacts. Okay? So it's really important to check your indicator before you acquire your ECG. Next to it, we have the file manager or the archived items, 200. So we can save up to 200 reports inside the machine in here. But we will not need that one actually. So upon acquiring and the transmitting of your reports with your workflow, it means that the report will be deleted from the machine to avoid the duplication. Okay? So we have 200 reports. Just in case if the network is down, you have to save that report in the machine, and it will give you a message that the result it's not transmitted. So you will save that one till the network gets back. Then you will go to the file manager and transmit it again. Okay? So this is for the space, how many free slots you have to acquire your ECG and save in the machine. Next to it, we have the level of the battery. So the level of the battery is, it should be full. So as came from manufacturer, as much as you don't use the machine, just keep it plugged in. So someone will ask, even if it is fully charged, should they keep it plugged in? That will affect on the battery. The answer is no, it will not affect on the battery, because that came from the manufacturer itself. So the full battery will serve you up to 3 hours. So just in case of emergencies, so that full battery can save you all over the hospital. So next to it, we have the date and time, and all patient demographics will show up in the upper left corner of the screen. So again, this is not a touch screen. So whatever we read in the lower part of the screen, we will use the functional key just below to it. So now, before I start talking about the next step in our acquiring ECG, let's discuss our workflow. Our workflow here depends on placing an order in the system. So please, before you do any ECG, ask your physician to place an order in the system. If they ask you to run an ECG for patients, tell them, did you place an order for your patient for that report? If yes, go ahead and go acquire the ECG for the patient, unless wait till they do the order on the system or place an order on the system, and after that you can go and retrieve that order to modality with all patient demographics. Okay? So upon placing the order, you will enter the national ID of your patient. You will retrieve that order with all patient demographics. We will attach our report, then we will return it back. Our workflow depends on one order, one report to show up in the patient's profile. If you run one order, 2 reports, it will not show up in the patient's profile. It will be stuck in a MUSE system. If you run a report without an order, it will be stuck in the system waiting for someone to do an interaction here, attach the order to report to show up in the patient's profile. Even if physician see it in the MUSE and he confirm it, it will not show up because there is no order. So our workflow depends on one order, one report to show up in the patient's profile. Okay? So now we will go to enter our patient demographics. So we hooked up our patient. We checked our indicator in here. It is green. Then I will start entering my patient demographics. So I just fixed the machine upon pressing patient data just to show you this box to enter the national ID of your patient. So I have a demo patient in here. I will enter one national ID. Okay? I will choose different one because yesterday I used the same one.
Patient ID.
Yes, national ID.
National
ID.
Not a hospital ID?
No, it's going to be the national ID now. So from now, the whole 7 hospitals in Tabuk, they will run with the national ID. Okay? So we have a patient MRN will be there, but the national ID is the most important one, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 340 3441. So this is my national ID. Upon entering the national ID, I will confirm it using OK, press OK, or use the enter key. So press OK, it will start communicating with the system. And it shows that this patient has 3 orders. So if the patient has more orders, choose one of them. If there is only one order, it will automatically, it will not show this screen. It will bring or retrieve all patient demographics. So no need for manual entry anymore. Okay, so now this patient has 3 orders. Let's say that you are running a routine ECG or something. So your physician is looking for an ECG for a patient every 4 hours. So you have to ask him to place 4 or 5 orders to help you actually acquiring that ECG with the order. So now I will choose one of these orders, highlight. Now it will bring all patient demographics in here. It will open a box showing you that I retrieved the whole 2 patient IDs, the age and gender. So the algorithm which is running on the machine, it's really smart. We have 150 trials published in the internet that the accuracy of the interpretation of your ECG, it's 99.99%. So as much as we do the job on the right way, we can depend on that one. So this is the second best opinion after the cardiologist. So as much as we hooked up properly, get the indicator green, okay? And the age and gender and my patient demographics is entered properly. So this is the patient demographics. I will do save. Now all patient demographics is showing up in the upper left corner of the screen. So I'm ready to acquire my ECG now. But before I do that, let's check the capability of the system. What else can help me actually here to get a clean report or a clean signal, clear signals for my physician? So remember, this is not a touch screen. So whatever we read, we will use the functional key just below to it. So we have the speed, which is 25 millimeter per second. This is standard configuration. If there is any specific request from your physician, you can just do the change by pressing the button in here. Okay? The gain is 10. This is for adults. So if you're running an ECG for a pediatric, the gain with pediatric is always high. So if we run it with the 10, it will give an open QRS. So it will not show the right QRS for your physician. So you have to reduce the gain to 5 or 2.5 even with the pediatric patients. It depends upon the signal and the readings you see on the screen. Okay? So 2.5, 5, and 10 is the adult one. So the standard is 10, and you will find it in all of your ECG machines. What's really important next to it is the filter. So 150 hertz is the standard. So if you have a lot of artifacts, a lot of noise in your report, just reduce that one to 20. It will clean the picture. So before you do the transmit for your report, make it a 20 in the filter and transmit it. This is in cases if you have a lot of artifacts or a lot of noise in your report. So we want to transfer just a very good report to our physician. Okay? Next to it, we have the pace enhance. So if my patient has a pacemaker, we have to turn this one on. That will differentiate spikes of pacing in the ECG instead of giving all of that artifact, all of that noise in that ECG. Okay? So I'm ready to acquire my ECG now. I fixed figures in here and I can see a good report. So before I do that, you have to know that you will not be able to print any paper anymore. So we put the report copies 0. So upon transmitting, all of these reports will go to the system and your physician has to see it over there and to do the right management. So let's do the workflow on a perfect way as much as we can. So let's acquire our ECG. We said that we have main functional keys here. Leads, ECG, rhythm, and stop. So leads, it's talking about what do you want to see on the screen. So if I press it, it will change the display only, not the printing, the display. So if you want to see the 3 leads or the 6 chest leads, the other 6 leads, or the whole 12 leads. So we fixed the starter screen to be with the 12 leads. ECG, it will acquire your regular ECG 12 lead report. Rhythm, it will start printing the whole 12 leads on a rhythm way, and it will never stop till you ask it to stop. Okay? So that's why we didn't fix a time for it, because it's different from physician to another. Some physician will ask for 15 seconds rhythm report, or 30 seconds rhythm report, or even 2 minutes rhythm report. So upon pressing the rhythm button, you have to start counting, then press stop. Okay? So let's do an ECG now. Okay, so that's why we said it's acceptable. But with the green one, this is the perfect one. Okay, so we just pressed patient data, We retrieve the order with patient demographics, and now we are ready to acquire our ECG. So upon pressing the button in here, it will freeze the picture for you. It's asking you in another way, do you like this picture or not? If yes, press continue. If no, press cancel, adjust the leads, then acquire again. So continue. Look what's gonna happen here. It's acquiring. Now it's transmitting. So we will find the report in the patient's profile as much as we run one order, one report for our patient. So please make sure when you hook up your patient, as much as the case is stable, just wait for the indicator to be green. Check the signals before you do acquire. If it is perfect, acquire, then transmit it. Okay? We will stop printing out. Don't worry about that. Okay? Okay, great. So now I did transmit that report to the patient's profile. So I have the options here. If I want to save it in the machine, so look at the number in here. It's 198, yes. So if I want to do save, that number will reduce. Okay, so now I still have 197 free slots in the machine. If I want to save it in the machine. Okay, so why do we need to save it as highlighted? If the network is not connected fine, you will find an error message in the transmitting. So do save for that one to be transmitted later on. Okay, so I have next patient, new patient or same patient. I will do a new patient. It will open the box for me to enter the new national ID. Okay, so really important to know. If we want to go to the system now, we will check it there. So I will run another scenario with the next patient for the ER stuff. So what will happen? Your patient will show up. You want to do an ECG without an order. There is no time even to enter all patient demographics, to do it manually. So if I press cancel, it will open the list. This one, if I press cancel, it will open the patient demographics picture for me to enter the whole patient IDs and the gender and age. So there is no time for all of these ones. So what will I do? I will put a hint for myself at least just to check it in the system. So if I do 33333 and I know this is my patient, okay? And I will do save. And I will acquire another ECG now. ECG for my patient because I want to catch the event, right? So I will do ECG and I will press continue. It will transmit that report with the 3333 to the MUSE system. So that's why you have the client MUSE over there to sign in, to attach or to put the right national ID after we place the order, to put the right national ID, then to fix the patient IDs, attach the order and do updates. So that scenario will run also on you. If you didn't run the workflow properly, they will put that application or that client to you. So they will find more extra work for you as well. Okay, the AR is a different story. So maybe in the AR machines as well, maybe we'll let them be able to print out to manage the patient faster. So some critical areas, they need to get that paper to do the job. The physician cannot just go to the system and check it and get back with the right management. So we will keep some of the machines printing out, okay, as needed. So if there is no need, we will keep it with the 0 copies. So now, I will go to my next patient, new patient. So we did run a scenario with the patient that without an order, and we did actually the right workflow, the order workflow. So now where to find these ones? So I'll do cancel, cancel. So we did transmit that one. If I did save it in the system, where to find these reports now? It's gonna be in the file manager. So I will go with the more, main menu, then I will find file manager, I'll press it. It will show all the reports acquired on this machine as much as you did save. If you didn't do save, it will not be in the file manager. So that will take, as we said, up to 200 reports. It's not going to be auto deleted. You have to delete all. So I can select all and do the job, or I can select randomly, select and choose my patient and do the job. If I want to edit the patient demographics, preview on the machine, delete, print, transmit. So if it is not transmitted, I will go to the file manager and do the transmit for that report. Okay? How to get back to my startup screen? It is the resting ECG screen, the startup screen. So more, return, main menu, it's resting ECG. So wherever you are in the world, as much as you are dealing with an ECG machine from GE, just go with the more main menu till you find what you are looking for. Okay? So here is going to be the same, more main menu if I'm looking for the file manager. If I want to get back to my resting ECG, it is in here, but let's say that I'm here, I'll say more, and then I will find it, resting ECG, it will take me back to startup screen. Any further question? Before I end my session, I'd like to share with you how to load the papers actually in the machine in case you are dealing with that one. So press the button in here, it will open the tray. Sorry, it's okay. It will open the tray for you. You have your package, just slide it inside. How to place that paper? Make your square marker in the lower left part of the machine. Place it inside, or slide it inside, then take a piece of a paper out and close. Okay? So to open it, it's going to be from this silver button, and to close regularly from both sides to avoid breaking down the tray itself. So any question, please? So our workflow is going to be the order workflow. We have to ask our physician to place an order before we do the ECG. So in some emergency cases, which is around the world, it's 3 or 5% maximum, that you don't have time to place an order. And you have to do the ECG for your patient and do the right management or the fast management before we think about placing an order, right? So in this case, you will do the ECG for your patient. You will put a hint for yourself, the MRN or the date and time of that ECG report itself, and then you will log into the MUSE to fix those ones. That MUSE application is going to be only for you here, the MUSE editor, LDAP or MUSE editor login. So you can use both of them. So you will use your credentials to log into the MUSE application. I will use mine, the MUSE admin, okay? And I will show you how will it look like from inside. So upon logging in the MUSE using your credentials, you will go to test by date and time. So I have one report here, 13th of October today, and I couldn't find time to place an order. So I did the ECG, then I transmitted to the system. So I put a hint for myself, 3333, whatever it is, so I can remember it and get back to the system here. So upon logging in, so there is no patient, no IDT record for the patient for the 3333. So I have to choose the right patient. So I will go to clerical, and I will check my national ID for my patient. The national ID for my patient. Okay? So now you place the order for your patient, and you will get back to the system here. Use the national ID of your patient. So I have one number in here. I will use 11834034441. So upon press tab, it will show no mismatch. So this patient is in here. If there is any mismatch, patient ID mismatch, you will find the message with the error. You can just correct mismatch, press on the drop button here, and use the admitting name. This is the one in the hospital information system, the RQSER. So that there will be no mismatch. So am I done here? No. I will go down to the order number, and I will attach the order for that patient, the one which was placed for this patient, and I'll press OK. So in this case, you did correct the mismatch for your patient, and you added the order number to it, then you will do update. Press update. So this file is the update. If you forgot which one, just put the cursor on it. It will show you that this is the icon. Okay? So now my patient here, it has the updated status, and we fixed the mismatch on it. Got it? So in this case, the physician will be able to confirm it in the MUSE, and it will show up in the patient's profile. Okay? So that's all. Thank you very much. So it's with the 5% of your patient. So the rest will run the workflow. Place an order, retrieve to the modality, acquire, and transmit. For the 3 or 5% of your patient, which needs an urgent acquiring for an ECG, even without an order, we will do the job on the application to fix the order with the national ID, then update it. Okay? So thank you very much for your time.
This one
So-
for emergency and the other one
Yes.
for normal workflow.
Any further question, please? Thank you. So